Hello students, today I want to talk about blending modes and how they may come into play with making your pictures look a little bit more interesting or adding some color or just some different variations to them. And the first thing we're going to do again is duplicate our background layer, make a background copy. I want to actually turn off the eyeball of the original background so that we don't see it. And I want to do something called adding a new layer. And to do that I come down here to this what looks like a little post-it note where it says create a new layer, and I'm going ahead and do that. What I want to do though is I want to reverse where that layer appears here eventually and drag it so that it's actually underneath the background copy. This is how you kind of do bring to front, send to back. There is no real way to do that other than changing up your layers. So if I turn my eyeball off, I see nothing but that blank layer, which is the checkerboard. Okay? And what I want to do on this layer, as I am highlighted on that layer, is I want to add some color to it. And I'm actually going to turn this eyeball off just so you can see this work. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Paintbucket tool, which is sometimes hidden behind the Gradient tool. Those two tools kind of hang out together. So the Paintbucket tool is there, and I'm just going to dump the white color that's on my palette inside here. Okay? So I can double click. I'm going to go ahead and change that to black, dump my color in again. Okay, now I put my eyeball back on. You don't really see anything any different at all. Okay, except that you can change a couple different things up here. The first thing I could do is change the opacity if I wanted to somehow blend my picture. Sorry, I'm on the wrong layer, which is a problem. I need to click on that background copy layer. If I want to make that layer more translucent so that that color comes through, I can do it that way. That's one way to kind of just, mix a color with a picture if I wanted to add just some interest. But another way to do it is with these layer styles or these layer channels in here. And what I can do is I can click on any one of these, and what I'm doing is I'm clicking the arrow button and going through them all. And obviously you can see that some are darker than others, some add interest, some just kind of, make them look a little distorted. Okay? But they all do something slightly different to the picture. And then we finally go back to normal up here at the top. That brings me back because nothing is affected at the time. Now if I decide though, how about instead of black, which is kind of boring, I want to use the color that's in her shirt, Paintbucket. So I'm going to sample that color by going to this eyedropper tool. Right click on that eyedropper tool and I click on where that blue is in her shirt. And now I've created that blue color there. Okay, again I'm going to turn this eyeball off just so you can see how this works. I'm going to click on that Paintbucket tool again, and now I'm going to Paintbucket that blue picture in, that blue color into the picture. And now when I click on here, I bring this back up. Now normal is going to just, block everything out underneath it, but if I try dissolve, multiply, oops, and again I'm on the wrong layer for you to see this, and go back to normal. It's very important that you're clicked on the correct layer. That's also something you have to pay attention to. Normal, dissolve, so darken kind of gives it a blue, cascade, multiply, color burn, linear burn. Okay, and some of them just kind of give like this kind of like just casty look to them. At any point in time too, I can go back to this layer here and I can change how the opacity works as far as blending it into this particular realm. And so you can adjust those any direction that you choose. You can also do this with an additional picture. If you want to put two pictures together and have one kind of come through the other one, you could do it in this fashion as well. And that's something we'll actually explore a little bit more with our Gradient tool. Again, when I save, I want to go to File and Save As. And I want to save this as a PSD file because then that will retain all of my layers so that I keep everything intact if I ever want to go back and change it. Again, I know that this is a very simple tutorial. However, with the layers, oftentimes they'll say layer styles or blending modes is how they will call them, refer to them in different tutorials. If you have to change your blending mode from normal to diffuse or luminosity or something like that, know that this over here is what they're looking for. Good luck with all of that and saving, and make sure that you are keeping a before and an after picture of every tutorial you're doing for this month. Thank you.